banned. She's super strong at the moment, so will get taken away. And Weibo toying with the idea of that Kalista, potent at MSI and still very potent on this patch.
Yeah, Huanfeng going for a Kalista. A team that we know for liking the slow play. Huanfeng, known for playing these carries that want to scale up over time, goes for a Kalista. None of the slow play at all. They're going aggressive on this one. Pure Shadow Isle so far, with 3 blue champions locked in.
Oh, it looks like Shun's Runa, though, will take that Wukong. We've seen be really strong. And then the Aphelios, who can often, if the Kalista gets up into his face and he has enough items, will just shred him. The question for Weibo, do you answer the top lane matchup, or do you look to secure something like a support? They will answer the Gwen with the Jayce. Something we did see is that strong counter in Spring wasn't quite as effective at MSI after he got some nerfs. With the durability patch, make him a bit bulkier again, should be able to handle it now. Go to the second rotation. There's definitely some standout supports I expect to be banned. Lulu pairs really well with the Aphelios, and we've obviously seen more Lulu priority on this patch. I also think Renata is something we've seen a lot with Kalista in scrims, because she can just charge forward and not worry about going down. Just stack up the Rens and then pop someone to secure that revive pass ability from the W.
All right, well, looking towards the mid lane here, we talked about how it's essentially just a flex role now. There's a lot of available picks. LeBlanc banned off the board. The Azir taken away from Angel. That is somewhat of a signature pick. And, you know, we didn't really mention the bans before. The Nidalee and the Kindred both targeted at Shun as opposed to being super strong in the current meta. I'm curious what the other bans are going to be as well, because Angel, historically, his Kassadin was one of his biggest picks. But I'd be surprised if we see the Kassadin locked in today.
The Sandra ban kind of telegraphs an Ahri pickup, still something very much played on this patch, even though it did get nerfed and obviously is a champion who lacks damage somewhat, so can struggle with durability changes. I wouldn't be surprised if IG used to ban away the Ahri in response to this, as we did see that Sandra be that really potent counter later in MSI. And then Weibo obviously have the flexibility. They can pick up their mid lane if there's something they still want to prioritize that's left available. Swain is banned, so this could just be the Ahri coming out for Angel and then leave that support counter pick.
I'm a little surprised to see a Swain ban. Can you talk me through who that's targeted at? Which role is Swain even played in right now?
Yeah, so we're seeing him a little bit in the mid lane. He did get that rework, similar to what we saw from Olaf, where like his ult now just constantly lasts when you're in combat. He doesn't yank of ally CC anymore. You can throw your E out and yank anyone who gets caught by it. So got a full change up and is being seen played more. I think particularly the composition IG has, very short ranged, is kind of what the Swain thrives into. So it does make sense. And the Renata is actually going to get picked up by IG. So this is something both teams would have liked to get their hands on. A good pairing with either AD carry. Aphelios Renata, very hard to dive onto or get up close to, which is obviously what a Kalista wants to do.
And then we're looking for anti-dive in the mid lane as well. Galio and Vex being hovered. Both of them extremely good at playing Peel if they need to for Wink, who seems to be the sort of primary carry for this team. But that said, Zika is on Gwen. Gwen is always going to be a primary carry no matter the composition. Over to Weibo then, as they need to lock in their support for their final pick. And it will be a Rell. That's the first time I've seen Rell since she came out.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of play in Spring when other engaged supports were banned away, and she did show her face a little bit at MSI, but definitely lower in sort of the tiers that we typically see. I will say that Rell isn't like Leona is super tanky by herself. Rell isn't quite so much. The durability changes might help, but ultimately it kind of adds that dive all in that the Weibo bot lane has with the Kalista. Obviously a fantastic champion to throw in the enemy team, but you're up against such a strong composition from IG. I honestly feel like IG could be pretty comfortable. They have the super powerful Gwen. They have backline dive if they want to use those tools between the Wukong and the Vex, but they can also peel effectively. And then this bot lane is just so hard to deal with the likes of the Kalista and the Rell getting up close to this Aphelios will just get absolutely shredded. I think for Weibo, this is one that they need to come out ahead in the early game. We talked it up as being IG who tend to be more aggressive, and Weibo tend to wait for the later stage of the game. But I think with this draft, they need to be setting the pace.
Yeah, they certainly do. And I feel like the styles you expect from these two teams coming into the series have been flipped around, right? Weibo are a team you expect to play slow, not with this draft, right? They've gone aggression. They've gone for early priority and early ability to control the map and early ability to win the lanes. Whereas IG, the team you'd usually expect to go for that kind of thing, looking more towards that scaling. So have to see how it's going to pan out. This top lane matchup, though, I'm a little curious about. Zika versus TheShy, Gwen, versus Jayce. We've seen this matchup quite a few times over the last year or so, and it's pretty Gwen favored, it has to be said.
Well, I mean, typically it's been Jayce favored, right? This was the counter that was picked up in spring and was kind of taken as a response. We often saw Jayce banned so Gwen could get picked in response. But I think the problem is, firstly, we saw a nerf to Jayce. His resistances, no, it was his health, his base health got lowered. So Gwen has more opportunities to find all-ins. And then we've obviously seen the Gwen buffs, right? The bigger refund on her E came in so she can gap close more often, trade more often. And at MSI, we saw Carrier for T1 trying to pick the Jayce as an answer to Gwen. And it wasn't really working. He wasn't able to shut down Bin. I feel like in this situation, someone with the veterancy of TheShy, you would think he'd be able to try and make Zika's life hell on this Gwen pick. But if he doesn't, the Gwen becomes such a monster in the later stages.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that TheShy is good at, it's bullying late, right? That is how he made a name for himself, was just dominating in the 1v1. But the reason that TheShy is so well known for being either a hard carry or kind of dying a little bit too much, let's say, is because he will just be so aggressive in that top side regardless of jungle. He won't really respect what's happening from the other team. He'll just go for the 1v1. So quite often can be punished for that. Or we'll see if Shun is going to look towards the top side. Doesn't look like it for now, though, as he starts on his blue buff and will path down.
Yeah, I think pathing down towards the bot lane, given coverage, makes a lot of sense. Again, big talking point we had before was the fact that it is now harder to dive. That really actually benefits you in this matchup, because on the Jayce, being able to set up the wave so that you can dive the target is really effective. Oh, looking for a bit of engage here.
Huanfeng looking for the all-in here. The exhaust is going to deny it, as On now has to retreat, but Wink losing half of his HP, trading it for On. I think Weibo will be happy with the way that trade's gone.
Yeah, they're still up in summoners. They still have the cleanse. I will say cleanse not the most useful in this matchup, other than just removing the enemy exhaust, but is there for the root from the Renata. But now Weibo's bot lane gonna get the level 2. Nice handshake coming out from Xinliu just to stop anything from happening. And again, this is how you want to play the lane out, just a bit more defensively with the Renata and the Aphelios, trying to keep them at a decent length away so you can just poke them down. But Shun might be looking for something here.
Yeah, SofM drops a ward. He knows what's up. It's going to be a little battle for the chickens here. Neither mid lane are moving over just yet. SofM and Shun going 1v1, but Shun has the Wukong. He's winning so far. SofM bullied away. The smite comes out from Shun. Chickens secure.
Yeah, and the critical reason he can go for this is because they have that Vex in the mid lane. Into the Ahri will find that early priority, and it just meant that Angel couldn't move. Yuekai didn't feel the need to. He knew Shun had it covered. Will steal away that camp and then be able to go towards his bot side, which is still open and ripe for the taking.
Yeah, very nicely done here by Shun. I was expecting him to go towards the red buff, but just finding that small window, that small advantage over SofM, and the ward that was dropped on that red buff early, paying dividends. But now SofM moving up to this top side, not going to try and make anything happen in the top lane. Instead, going to hover mid, and in fact move straight down towards the bottom side of the map. I think he wants to go for a double scuttle.
Yeah, he wants to look for it. He knows that Shun, because he spent all that time in SofM's jungle, he's going to be a little bit behind, still on his red buff. And with the priority bot lane and the fact the wave bounced back mid, easy to pick up that scuttle. So, you know, in the end, I think SofM was pretty happy with how things turned out. Yes, he lost the chickens, but he managed to get 2 scuttles. You're pretty comfortable in that regard.
Yeah, I think he got a few of the small chickens as well. So ultimately, maybe ever so slightly up for gold, but realistically, the difference will be negligible on this one. So fairly even start for our 2 junglers. Both junglers that will spike massively at level 6 as well. Once that 6 comes in, both of them have insane gank potential. As Weibo, they're hiding in the brush right here, pretending that they've recalled. Will Wink and Xinliu, I almost called him Lucas there, Xinliu, will they fall for it? Looks like no, as Huanfeng will step out and just start farming.
I think it's important to pay that respect into the Rell, into the Kalista. The thing with the Rell engage, it's quite slow. You will almost always be able to... Oh, never mind.
Say that. Looks pretty quick to me. Xinliu loses half his HP bar. Say half. He's almost dead on this one. But Wink able to return some of that damage. Won't quite be a kill. And that's twice now that Weibo searched for the all-in, but can't quite find it.
Yes, as I was saying, quite slow, because obviously Rell has to run up to you, or if she's in the other form, she like does the crash down. both quite telegraphed and easy to avoid. That doesn't apply if they're coming out the fog of war. And if you get a face check like that, then yes, you will lose your health. You will get taken out. So that's why IG's bot lane needs to be respectful. Anytime they don't have vision of on, could be scary.
SofM is here. In goes on. Knock up on Xinliu. Can they find the kills? The summoners are down, but can they finish the health bars off? Wink, low on HP. Xinliu goes down. So does Wink. It's 2 kills for the Weibo side.
Yeah, and it's just really poor timing for a gank coming out from SofM. The fact that Wink and Xinliu, the flash wasn't available for the Renata, the fact they overextended. I say poor timing, it was fantastic for Weibo.
I was going to say, yeah.
Poor timing for IG from their perspective, not when you want to get ganked in. Sure, he has the timer on the chickens, you'll steal that away, but it is such a small prize in comparison. You get the 2 kills on the bot side, one of them on Huanfeng, one of them onto SofM, and they will take the dragon as well. Exactly the sort of early advantage that they need in this game.
Moving over, but it's too late. Drake taken now by Weibo. We said they needed to be aggressive. Well, 1,500 gold lead and a Drake. That's a pretty aggressive start coming out from Weibo. So take another look at this little gank from SofM.
Yeah, and it's the wave state. The wave being here, because obviously, you know, we saw them trying to hold it on the tower for as long as they could. It does eventually bounce back. They're trying to get the crash, but critically, you know, Shun's on the other side of the map. He's not there to assist them. He's not there to help them push in. It's a great time for a gank for SofM. And the fact that there was no flash for Xinliu meant that it was just so easy to execute on.
So I'm curious, is there, like, what should IG's bot lane have been doing there? Like, is it a big misplay from them to be stepped up? Because I feel like you either step up or you just lose a huge amount of minions, because Weibo could have just frozen it forever, right?
I think you have to call Shun over. If Shun can't be there for whatever reason, if you're choosing to prioritize your jungler, then you just have to lose out on the farm. But you have to make a decision, right? Which is more important? Shun's time spent farming or making sure that Wink can get access to the wave and not be frozen out? For me, I think Wink is the bigger priority in this game. So I think that Shun should have just moved over and then helped them crash and that be the play.
All right, well, he's moving over now. He's on his position a little precariously, but SofM is here once more. And he's level 6. Shun, still only 5. This is huge for Weibo. On in the middle of everyone. Knock up onto Wink. SofM on the back line is exhausted, but it does not matter. Resets are available too as Shun dashes underneath the tower. SofM gets a little trick as an AD carry, but ults out. In comes Shun to try and finish the job off here. Can't quite finish the kill.
Oh, and it's such a disaster. The fact that Yuekai comes down. Oh, Wukong.
Huanfeng being real aggressive, has the cleanse. Looking to walk away from this one, and I think he will. But it's only just, they've barely got away with their life. Yuekai flashing forwards, finds the damage, but it's not quite enough.
So much burn there from IG, and they don't get rewarded. Still a kill in favor of the side of Weibo, and Angel got free time alone in mid to push the wave in. He also took a plate, so it's just a massive win for the side of Weibo. I was talking about how I felt Shun should have come down and helped them crash it. He does this time, but the problem is you're now a level behind off SofM because he got that early kill. He's able to turn up level 6. Shun didn't have his 6 yet, and that made all the difference in that fight.
Really interestingly, not relevant to the fight at all, but TheShy actually picking up a cull quite late on in the game. Like, that's a fresh cull that is just bought 8 minutes in, which is not something that you usually see. You know, realistically, he's gonna make it to 170 CS, so he'll get the cash in, but much later than you usually see a cull bought. But I want to talk gold for a second here, because Angel, individually, actually up 400 gold in that mid lane, thanks to having that solo time, getting himself a plate down in the bottom lane. It's 1,000 gold in favor of one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive advantage to the bot lane, but the fact, as I was saying, Yuekai moved down, didn't find anything. Oh, but SofM.
Yeah, he does have his ultimate, but he's a little bit late on trying to get out of this one. The stealth doesn't quite land either, but On actually goes in. He's going to sacrifice his own life to save SofM. They won't be able to find any more. I thought the taunt there coming out from the Renata was going to do a little bit more, but won't quite find anything else.
Yeah, the hilarious thing was SofM was in his shroud, and then you saw as soon as he got hit by the ult, he started to charge towards IG. And I was like, whoa, you don't want to be anywhere near that. Fortunately, did manage to get away, but it's On who goes down in return, trying to create space. And I like that from IG. They bring the extra members up, they find the Herald. Yes, they're still down in gold, but managing to find a proactive play and should be able to use this to secure some gold onto Wink, which again, we talked about him being this pivotal carry in the later stages of this game.
Yeah, he certainly did. He'll move up towards his top side. TheShy going to try and defend. On moving over as well to try and help the top laner. Jayce can do a decent job of at least thinning the wave out here. Should be able to shot blast at least the caster minions, and that should be able to... Oh no, he's hit the belly one there. But either way, protecting the plates, and that's ultimately the goal here. As Zika has moved down towards that bottom side, TheShy no TP, so Zika should be able to get some solo time onto this tower.
Yeah, should be able just to pick up a plate off this with the attack speed you get in E. Maybe plays it safe because he doesn't have vision, so we'll just back away. You can see Weibo did a pretty good job of securing vision around that side of the map. Is 30 seconds until that dragon, and right now Weibo's bot lane are on the top side. IGs are going for resets, so they will be on the map sooner. Can just look towards that dragon if they want to, and I think critically, if you secure this dragon, the one that Weibo got earlier isn't as threatening. It's not going to look towards that soul sooner and would put you in a pretty comfortable spot. So do you see them moving over to try and get control of the area now?
Yeah, you say that, but the recall's coming through from Huanfeng and On as well, so potential that Weibo will try and contest this one. They're 2,500 gold up right now. Certainly, if the two teams do fight in an even fight right now, you have to give the advantage over towards Weibo. The question is it an even fight? Do they actually find that opportunity? As Shinliu trying to fight for vision control. Ward over the wall from Shun, who does still have that Rift Herald in pocket. They can use that for priority if they need to try and get into this river.
Yeah, and you know, IG had the faster resets. Zika was already pushing this top lane in advance, but it feels like IG were a little bit concerned about moving forwards. Now found the confidence with that bot wave being pushed in. They're going to try and push mid, and they can throw the Herald down mid if they really want to secure priority to the area, but it looks like they will just move into the river and try and force Weibo away. Yeah,
Huanfeng getting priority in that bottom side in the meantime, as On and SofM trying to keep some level of control of the river area. Angel denying some vision as well. And IG not really willing to commit to the play just yet. Weibo managing to hold on with lesser numbers at the time, right? The mid laner and the AD carry both not involved, but SofM and On managed to hold IG at bay.
Yeah, and actually they missed a lot of farm in the bot lane. You can actually see minions just crashing into the tower. IG giving up a bunch of CS to try and stay in position to contest this, and they're still looking.
They want to go for the contest, but with a Kalista, it's always going to be hard. There's the Drake taken by Weibo. IG want the fight for themselves, but Wink can't really get in just yet. Hostile takeover goes wide. Yuekai into the back, but Huanfeng pulls out to safety. SofM in the middle of everyone. That's a huge pull-in. Do they have the damage? It's also onto Huanfeng. He cleanses it. SofM goes down. Double kill for Yuekai. In comes TheShy, though, to try and answer. Angel gets one. Dashes out the backside of the fight. In goes TheShy. The solo laners come up huge for Weibo. It's a triple kill. Make it a quadra for Angel.
And what a start to the summer split. A quadra kill for Angel. Zuko, on the other hand, doesn't even show up for the fight. TheShy making all the difference there. You saw it start to go in favor of IG, but they just didn't have the gas in the tank to finish it off. Weibo get the dragon, they get the kills, and now have a 3,000 gold lead.
And they have this early game composition, and boy, are they willing to use it. Angel having a quiet game so far, but finally shows up and does it in style.
Absolutely. And you know, the initial engage, it starts to seem favored in IG. Weibo disengaging. The TP comes in from TheShy, and that is pivotal. We get this re-engage coming out from Weibo, but ultimately On just gets deleted instantly. SofM isn't able to get any resets, but TheShy is now here. Zuka never actually shows up for the fight, and you see TheShy starts to chunk people down. That allows Angel to start getting these resets in, and it's the big reason he was able to get that quadra kill.
Yeah, the fact that every single time you get one of those kills, you get another Spirit Rush charge means Angel can dash over the wall, can finish the quadra kill off, and now is almost 1,000 gold up individually, about 700 in his pocket. But the difference between the AD carries is absurd right now. Almost 2,000 gold in favor of Huanfeng.
Yeah, and now with the mid difference as well, it is really looking a little bit painful for IG. Did say, you know, I feel like in the later stage of the game, they will be a lot more comfortable. That bot lane in particular scales exceptionally well, but you have to get to those later stages. 2 dragons in pocket for Weibo, setting a pretty decent pace for the soul. It will be that Hextech soul, which is a pretty strong one as well, with that extra slow, extra damage coming in. Especially when you have champions like Ahri that are so fantastic at chasing down. But for now, they'll just look to sort of continue their momentum on the map. At this point, Weibo are comfortable. They can just keep taking objectives, setting up waves to try and take out these outer towers where possible.
it's not just Ahri either, right? Viego and Kalista both extremely good at chasing you down. If Weibo start to get an advantage in a fight, the resets on the Ahri and the Viego, the fact they can chase you down, the fact that On is always going to be safe because of Huanfeng's ultimate, that CC chain is just absurd. Like, it's going to be very difficult for IG to find themselves a fight unless they can get creative with it. They do have a Vex. They do have a Gwen. There are ways to play where they might be able to find some cheeky advantage.
Absolutely. I think that's the thing as well, is that, you know, as you said, it can really go in favor of Weibo if they start to find momentum. If they don't, if SofM or Angel don't find the resets or do go down early, it can really go in the other direction. So execution will be the big question, but Weibo definitely coming in with the advantage. And On delivering well on this engaged support. And I think that's the critical thing, is we're asking the question, you know, we're expecting to see more enchanters on this patch, and there was always going to be that sort of open question: who leans into it, who sticks to these sort of engage picks. On is someone who, at least so far, is happy with picking up the Rell, and that engage, as you said, off the Kalista ult into the R, super devastating in these tight-knit team fights.
I mean, we saw it in that last one. That was when the whole team wasn't there to follow up initially. IG, though, going to try and get themselves a Herald. On Hex splashing just away from this one, deciding not to contest. So IG getting themselves both Heralds in this game, but still going to be down in towers, unfortunately, because they've not had control of the map enough to get good use of the Heralds. And look what Weibo are trading for those Heralds. TheShy looking for a tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem, is that what does the Herald get you? It normally gets you a tower. Oh, Shun looking for more than a tower, though.
Yeah, Huanfeng does still have his ultimate available, so I think IG realizing they have no chance of finishing off on that one. SofM did finish the red buff off. That tier 2 in the bottom lane did not go down, though. Crucially, IG able to defend.
But still, 2 towers for that Rift Herald take. TheShy got one in the bot lane. We saw the rest of the team take one mid. And so, you know, obviously the Herald is in pocket of IG, but that is probably only going to net you a tower. Ideally, you take the mid-tier one. You've already lost out on that trade, even if you get this tower. There is an objective bounty, which is a positive. But you can see the Hex Gates coming in. Weibo looking to potentially contest on this.
They want to go for a fight here. Keep your eyes on. He wants to go for the flash engage. Tower goes down. Herald pushing forwards. Might be it. I think IG have got away with it for now, but Drake is up in 10 seconds, and Weibo have no intention of letting IG have one for free. There's a knock-up. There's the follow-up coming out from Yuekai. Can they finish Angel off? There's one kill. Goes into the pocket of Wink, and they want a little bit more as well. On trying to escape from this one. TheShy off on the side. Will be a pick going the way of IG. Can they find a Drake off it? It doesn't look like Weibo want to retreat just yet.
Yeah, they will back off eventually, though, with Angel being down. A lot of tools burned. Actually, SofM, yeah, I think just going to reset here. You lost out, and ultimately a really nice engage from Shun there. They didn't give an opportunity for Angel to use his mobility, didn't give any opportunity for Weibo to find momentum, or the resets on the back of the Viego or the Ahri. Just instantly found that engage. Really well executed, and they will secure that dragon and another objective bounty, which is going to keep that gold lead within a reasonable amount. You can see here, On is not the target here. They don't really care, but they get that great knock-up into the fear, and then finally when Angel gets space, the flash and then the second cast of the ultimate from the Wukong will just finish him off. And Weibo know without the Ahri there, it's not good odds to take the fight, and IG essentially just bought themselves extra time in this game.
Yep, they certainly did, and Yuekai really the star of the show here, being able to follow up on Shun's engage. 3-1-1, almost on 2 items on the Vex, and that could start to be a really big issue for Weibo if they can't start to finish things off. If they can't keep this snowball rolling, they are still 3,000 gold ahead, still very much advantage in favor of Weibo, but that's a glimmer of hope for IG that they were in desperate need of.
Absolutely, and I think the main concern for me as well would be the second that Weibo get third dragon, you get really concerned, because every time you go for a dragon fight, it's not even just about the fight, it's also about if we lose the smite fight, they have soul. It also is just time on the clock, right? If they'd got that third one, it'd be 5 minutes away from soul, potentially 10 minutes away from Elder, put you in a really difficult position when IG still are comfortable with just scaling in this game. The more time they can buy, the better it will be. That bot lane that we saw fall behind quite substantially, it's still down in gold, right? Wink is 2 levels down. You look at the items, look at the CS difference, he is definitely still down in gold. But the more time you give, the more opportunity that Aphelios has to lead into the later stages.
And one of the crucial things, I want to talk about that CS difference, because it's not just in the bottom lane. It's across the board. Every single lane is ahead. The only player managing to maintain CS is Xin Liu on the Renata, which is not exactly the most crucial one. But
gotta get those CS per minute scores for the support.
Oh yeah, gotta push those numbers. But crucially, it's not just about like lane diff between the players, right? It was when we saw them dancing around the dragon, Weibo playing their lanes far better than IG.
Yeah, and I think that's the critical thing, is that's expectation. I think the caliber of players, and particularly like TheShy and Zika, with this matchup, we expected there to be a pretty substantial difference. But I think SofM has done a pretty good job of allowing his lanes to flourish. Angel is just going to pick up this top tower. The last of the tier 1s going down for IG. Still, it's not going to be too much gold, and I think IG are still fishing for opportunities around mid. Johnny in particular has been really good at using this Wukong and finding flank opportunities. I think the thing with this Wukong pick is the fact you can now go over walls. Means it's so much easier to find those windows. Why he's been such an effective pick, and if you can get onto the backline, he can just be so devastating.
You know, weirdly enough, the biggest gold difference between carries right now is in the top lane. TheShy having an almost 2,000 gold lead over Zika there, bigger than either Angel or Huanfeng, which is kind of surprising to me considering Huanfeng's 60 CS up down in that bottom side.
I think the critical thing is, one, he got the coal cash in, and two, he got the first tower in the bot lane, so he got that extra gold all to himself. You know, the 610 we typically see. So as much as he hasn't been in the fights as much, other than those 4 assists, he got a lot of that the gold from that structure. And as a result, this is a really strong Jayce. He's at this point where he's spiking super hard as well. Man Immune and Eclipse is devastating. A big shock blast that hits on the right target will just devastate IG.
And he's just finished off that tier 2 in the bottom side as well. SofM shadowing in there, keeping the rest of IG busy so that TheShy is safe to finish that tower and back away. And now SofM just going to take that Hex Gate on out of there. He is good friends with Jayce, you know, just protected him, gets a free pass.
Gets the free ticket to just ride away. I mean, I love Hex Gates. I've said this like 1,000 times. I think they're such a good addition to the map. When teams can make use of them, and particularly in this game as well, right? We talk about the Wukong find the flank angles, Gwen as well.
Oh, Angel! He's feeling saucy, but won't quite find Wink. The recall's cancelled. Angel not quite waiting long enough. He wasn't entirely sure where everyone else was. There were a lot of pink wards, so he didn't see the rest of the recalls. Good effort, though, from Angel to try and find the AD carry.
What I will say is that Ahri doesn't have the most damage when it comes to mid lane mages by any stretch. I'll hold off on this because On is definitely safe. Yeah, doesn't have the most damage anyway. Has gone Banshee's second item, and we've had the durability patch change. You know, Ahri just not the best at 100-0 in champions, so look for that opportunity. Does burn the cleanse, doesn't find more, but now with 15 seconds until the next dragon, IG don't really have control over the area. They're trying to push in. Weibo On could be fishing for something here.
The dragon was the last time that IG found an advantage. They found that pick onto Angel, but with the Banshees there, I don't think it'll happen again. Weibo just going to start this Drake off. They're more than happy to trade for a mid tower if they have to. Not even sure if they'll have to. They're going to look for potentially a fight here as they're on the flank right now. IG, they know they can't commit to the tier 2. Angel might look for Shun here. Will have his clone available though, so Angel holds off on the charm. Oh, actually, SofM.
Now IG just trying to get out.
Yeah, SofM moving forward still. TheShy. Big hit onto Yuekai there. Goes onto Shun. But it will just be IG escape.
And honestly, we can bring that whole passage of play back to the Angel play onto Wink, because they were looking for the resets, IG, to get back on the map and set up for Dragon. Because Angel actually stalled them out by going for the pick onto Wink, it meant they weren't able to get back on the map on time. They weren't able to set up for vision around the Dragon area, which is why in the end they went, you know what, we don't have any way of really contesting this without walking into a Rell. Let's just give it up. And critically, because IG won that previous Dragon fight, they don't give over the soul. But yeah, Angel's just his little attempted pick onto Wink gave quite a big advantage for Weibo, and now looking to try and control the area around the Baron. Once more, it is so hard to face check into this Weibo lineup.
It really is. And, you know, we talked about some of the players on Weibo becoming big names. Huanfeng, one of the players on everyone's lips. 550 bounty on him on this Kalista as Weibo threatened the Baron here. And Angel just denying entry from Wink. But Weibo won't actually go for that Baron. They don't want to risk anything just now. Even with that Kalista, which is a champion that's extremely good at taking those neutral objectives. Still 3.5 minutes until the Drake, and it means that Weibo can just play around this top side as much as they like.
Yeah, they really want IG just to face check into them, find that engage. You can see On fishing constantly. I think now the play is going to be started. You have TheShy here. Bare minimum, you can force the TP out from the Gwen.
Yep, TP is there. Zika moving on over. SofM actually just going to smite for health there. That's how you know they're not really committing to the Baron. Grouping up. They're on the wrong side of the map. The teams have swapped sides of some of this rift here. It's IG on the top side of the Baron now, and they don't really know how to get home. Weibo denying them entry. As that's massive damage onto the backline. SofM behind enemy lines. In goes on with a 3-man taunt, and in go the rest of the team. Wink will fall. Xinliu goes down as well, and IG have been torn asunder, but Zika is on Gwen, finds one answer, but it's only going to be the one.
Oh, actually another. Shun manages to find it. Gets the proc on the Divine Sundra. Now he has to try and buy time. Never mind.
Well, that's that one over. Well, look.
Instantly deleted. Well, I mean, critically, jungler going down. I know it wasn't much time, but a little bit of time bought. I was going to say maybe it'd stop the Baron, but it looks like Weibo is going to TP TheShy back in and start it up anyway. Also going to bring Angel, and they will 3-man this. Yuekai does have his TP. They will get low from this. You could honestly go, but it's a bit risky without the vision.
Yeah, they don't actually know that this has started, I don't believe. And, you know, with Huanfeng there, they do essentially have a smite from the Kalista, the Ren, or they just auto it down. Either way, they're going to be able to get themselves a Baron, and Weibo finally cement their lead.
Yeah, IG end up getting corralled here. The big shock blast makes them panic, understandably. And then On finds this beautiful engage coming in. You see Wink does end up getting the Renata W, trying to find the reset, but doesn't quite take Angel down. And then they all scatter to the wind. Zika is able to turn things around and get 1 kill. And then this nice little play. It looks like Shun's going to lose it. That Divine Sundra proc comes in for a big heal. And able to finish off the enemy jungler, but still a massive, overwhelming win for Weibo. 7,000 gold lead now. We're a minute 15 from that 4th dragon, which would be Soul if they can secure it. Rabadon's picked up for Angel. Sorelda's Grudge for TheShy. Wit's End for Huanfeng. They are so strong right now.
They really are, and Weibo now going to be gaining vision control, just sweeping out this entire jungle. There is one ward there, but there's not long left on it. That's the problem. It's going to time out naturally. There's Huanfeng pressuring in the mid lane. Big shot blast onto Wink there. He does have a Bloodthirster, so he'll be able to sustain his way back on through. SofM trying to move into the jungle alongside On. Maybe an opportunity for IG. They've found a couple of picks, but the flash comes on through. Huanfeng's ult saves On's life as well. And the shot blasts are absurd. It feels like there's nothing IG can do.
Yeah, I mean, TheShy is just disgustingly strong now on the Jayce. And the thing is, if IG can't find the engage, he will just keep firing off those shock blasts whenever the cooldown's available. Hitting 3 people there just means IG have to scatter to the winds. And now Weibo, with that Baron, going to take this tier 2 mid, while TheShy is still pushing in the bot lane.
Yeah, IG are trying to get the recalls off, but they're going to be too slow on this one. As you say, TheShy in the bottom side, Angel waiting in the wings in case anyone comes to try and find a flank. And in the meantime, the mid tower going down, the bot tower going down. It's going to be bot inhib now being pressured by the solo lanes. Yuekai forced back to the fountain by TheShy here. There's an inhib, and TheShy ain't done. He's going to pressure onto Nexus towers while the rest of the team looks for a dive in the mid lane. They'll finish this tower off first as On happy to tank that one up. Despite the powerful towers, it's not going to stop Weibo. That'll be 2 inhibs taken, and Weibo put their foot down on this game.
I just managed to get so much of the back of the Baron, and now they'll head over towards this dragon. It will be Soul, as if things couldn't get worse for IG. At this point, they kind of need a miracle in these fights. Need to just blow someone up, find a pick beforehand. It's really the only hope, because I feel like as soon as TheShy starts firing off these shock blasts, you're just going to get absolutely decimated, especially as now he has the Hex Tech Dragon as well. It's not too much damage. It's like 50 true damage, but when he's already doing so much, you really don't want him hitting any harder.
Yeah, you definitely do not. He's an absolute monster. I'd say an MVP candidate at this point with the damage that he's doing in these fights.
You know what? I'm ready to say it, Joe. I think TheShy is pretty good.
Wait, really? You're saying world champion TheShy is pretty good at League of Legends? That is a bold statement. He is down in CS though, you know, 20 CS behind. I'd say that's pretty poor performance. Now, I think he's done okay. I think he's done all right for himself. Weibo, though, despite this very fast, very aggressive comp, playing the game relatively slow, they're going to find a pick onto Yuekai here. The Zhonya's going to come out, but it was a little too late, and Yuekai will fall. Angel to grab that kill. Weibo just finishing things off now as SofM almost goes down there. Need to be a little careful, but TheShy over the wall. just blasting, peppering away on the sidelines as Huanfeng pushes a wave in that mid lane. That'll secure the top tier 2 tower. And really, Weibo playing this one by the book, almost 30 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, SofM nearly making a mistake there. The thing is, when the enemy team is so far behind, you kind of don't want to be the enemy champions, especially when Yuekai was on a tower. But doesn't manage to get away, and now IG, they're doing everything they can to defend, but it just feels inevitable, especially TheShy grouping up with the team now. Doesn't manage to connect that shock blast, but I'm just waiting to see once again how much damage it does. It is decimating at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about how far ahead Weibo are, that SofM has the same amount of items as the strongest carries on the side of IG. It's not a good situation if you're Wink or if you're Yuekai, but you're still stuck on 2.5 items 30 minutes into this game. But Weibo do seem to be struggling to actually finish this one out. They've had these 2 inhibs down for quite a while. They can't seem to crack this nut.
Yeah, they are being a bit respectful, understandable as well. This Gwen, as you said, now up in farm has been picking up so many waves. Zika is strong, so if you do mess up, if someone gets caught out, there is an opportunity to spike the gold lead. They are looking.
Engage onto TheShy. He's going to be absolutely burst down, but he doesn't die just yet. Somehow surviving a little while there. Will finally fall. Xinliu goes down as well. Huanfeng still going strong. Knockups across the team. Their health bars evaporating. Double for Angel. Can he find more multi-kills for himself? There's a triple, but Huanfeng ruins it as Angel looks for the final kill. Yuekai looking for a fear, though. Should be able to escape or at least buy time, but it does not matter. The rest of Weibo move into the base 17-7, and in our first game of the LPL 2022 summer split, Weibo play it slow and steady and get a dominant win over IG.
Yeah, they will finish off the Vex before they finish out the game. And ultimately, I think that was the correct play for IG. Try and pick someone. They did manage to kill TheShy, but you saw how long it took him to go down. And they just didn't have damage for the rest of the fight. The gold lead too big. And ultimately, it was an attempted play at the end of a game where Weibo were just dominant right from that